Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Damian Nelson coming to you here from the offices of the Pro Wrestling Report. We've got this wrap-up of TNA Bound for Glory, which was just tonight on pay-per-view. Several titles changing hands, and AJ Styles walks out of Bound for Glory still the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Let's go over the matchups quickly and be prepared, though, to join us this Friday for the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time, as we'll have a full and complete review of TNA Bound for Glory with match-by-match, in-depth analysis of the night's events. Let's go down the title matches. The Knockouts Championship was on the line. ODB retaining the title against Tara and Awesome Kong. We would see Kim Couture actually get involved in that matchup, attacking Tara, then removed from the match. And then from there, it was watching the TNA post-event press conference as we do this, trying to multitask here, but be that as it may. Tara is escorted out by security, then comes back to the ring, not really back in it, mind somewhere else. ODB able to retain in what was a decent match from those two. The Knockouts Tag Team Championship is retained by Taylor Wilde and Sarita, as the Beautiful People were not able to defeat them tonight at Bound for Glory. The Ultimate X match became a championship match this past Thursday on Impact. We heard during the pre-show that D'Angelo De Niro would not be able to participate in the matchup, and due to a family emergency, the Motor City Machine Guns, who won the pre-show matchup against Lethal Consequences, placed into the match, and Amazing Red walks out still the X Division champion, winning Ultimate X. Daniels, though, taking a very nasty fall, as was Suicide at the end of that matchup, one that we have later found out it's just caused some soreness for Daniels, and hopefully he'll get that checked out and we'll know more about the extent of his injuries, if any, down the road. Monsters Ball, Mick Foley versus Abyss with Dr. Stevie as the guest referee. In my opinion, Dr. Stevie was just in the way in this matchup. Not his fault, but the way it was booked, he was in the way. However, great match from these two. Monsters Ball won by Abyss. He comes in and takes the win in his matchup after executing a very nice choke slam on Daphne from the top rope to the outside of the ring through a barbed wire table. Samoa Joe versus Bobby Lashley in a submission match. I gotta say, I was surprised at the California reaction to Bobby Lashley. Not very favorable. Again, very surprising there, and potentially worth noting down the road as it pertains to Bobby Lashley and his career. But Samoa Joe still came up short, as Bobby Lashley was able to get the submission out of Joe in that matchup. The Legends Championship was on the line as Hernandez and Eric Young tried to take the strap off the waist of Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash and Eric Young with a deal going into the match, but coming out of the match, that deal would be no more, as Eric Young is the new TNA Legends Champion. This would be the first of victories for the World Elite tonight, and one of many defeats for the Main Event Mafia. Kurt Angle versus Matt Morgan, an excellent match. A match that saw Kurt Angle get the win, but Matt Morgan get elevated. After the matchup, Matt Morgan with his hand raised in victory by Kurt Angle in a show of respect, an uncharacteristic as far as storylines are concerned, show of respect in that matchup. Morgan really delivered. Obviously, Angle had a lot to do with that, but Angle really delivered. This match, even though it was only billed as having a 15-minute time limit, was still a very good matchup on this pay-per-view. Better than I would have expected. A solid effort from both men. As we said before, the main event would be AJ Styles versus Sting. We'll get to that in a minute, but the TNA Tag Team titles and the IWGP Tag Team titles were on the line, and a Full Metal Mayhem matchup. And in that matchup, we saw the British Invasion walk out, the new TNA World Tag Team Champions, and Team 3D walk out, the new IWGP Tag Champions. Rhino would interfere in that matchup, as would Rob Terry. Lots of shenanigans. Good match, well-paced, just as well as the Ultimate X match was very well-paced were those two matches, and British Invasion walking out the new World Tag Team Champions of TNA Wrestling. The main event, Sting versus AJ Styles, as we said at the top of this program. AJ Styles still the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Sting did not retire. Let me repeat that, folks. Sting got in the ring after the matchup. Great match, good match from those two. Sting really showing up and putting forth the effort in this contest, but not retiring, so I guess we'll have to tune into Impact to see what happened there. You be sure to tune into the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime this Friday for a full review Phone's blowing up here. People want to talk about TNA Bound for Glory tonight, but for a full review of Bound for Glory, which was tonight on pay-per-view, we'll have that, and we'll have your comments on it by sending them to comments@pwrshow.com, and that'll be this Friday on the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime, and also visit pwrshow.com to find out when indeed Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN Radio will be on this week. For the Pro Wrestling Report, this is Damian saying thank you for tuning in, and we'll talk to you Friday, PWR Primetime.